Hello everyone. So the last month of autumn is coming, which means it's time to look into the future and find out what November has prepared for us. Also, if this is your first time on our channel, then subscribe to keep abreast of all events, press your finger up and enjoy. Let's go. The Chant. The Chant is a third-person action-adventure horror game about a group of spiritualists trying to survive on an island paradise. The events of this action horror adventure take place just on this paradise island, where, after a strange rite, a portal to a terrible dimension called Gloom has opened. Now the main character will have to try to survive in this nightmare, fighting interdimensional monsters and communicating with other participants in the session, who are gradually going crazy. You have to close the portal. For this you need to study the secrets of the cults of the 80s, strengthen your mind, body and spirit.
To your spiritual nightmare.
Evil West. We are still waiting for Evil West. If anyone forgot, I will remind you that the game was supposed to be released on September 20th. This is our bloody action shooter with a third-person view. The scene takes place in the Wild West, which is under attack by vampires. Players take on the role of the local Van Helsing, who is a member of a top-secret organization with many powers, such as developing weapons, special armor, and gadgets. You will have a shotgun, a double-barreled shotgun, a revolver and a mechanical glove at your disposal. Yes, all this can be pumped and improved, but it would be strange to call it a huge arsenal. We are promised a vigorous dynamic gameplay, a lot of gadgets and interesting bosses. The plot is there for show, and the game can be played both alone and together with a friend. Gungrave G.O.R.E. Gungrave G.O.R.E. is a stylish third-person action shooter developed by South Korean studio IGGYMOB. You will play as a brutal anti-hero named Grave and destroy thousands of enemies in bloody firefights that are not inferior to the beauty of a murderous ballet. The game is based on the 2003 anime series. There is very little information about the game itself, so there is not much to say about this. We are waiting for the release and we will figure it out on the spot. Warhammer 40,000 Darktide. Warhammer 40,000 Darktide is a co-op horror action game set in the Warhammer 40,000 universe from developers Fatshark, who gave the world the Great Vermintide series. The plot of Darktide revolves around the city of Tertium, which is attacked by hordes of all sorts of monsters and must be repulsed, as well as solve the problem with the seed of filth growing in the depths of the hive.
Extent of the unrest. I'll know more when they make it back.
Users are given the opportunity to create their own character, customize his appearance, voice and origin. It is also allowed to choose a class that determines the style of combat with skills. As for the gameplay, it is made in the spirit of Vermintide 2. Hand-to-hand combat and a first-person shooting system are available, between which you can quickly switch. You will have 4 classes to choose from: Veteran, Zealot, Ogre and Psyker. Each of them has their own abilities, as well as individual character traits that will be manifested through dialogues. In addition to classes, pumping is also waiting for you, a standard inventory collection system, that is, weapons can be obtained both during the battle and upon completion of the task.
And if it's come to this, then God Emperor help us all.
Die by the Blade. Die by the Blade is a fast-paced third-person action slasher game made in the style of samurai punk. An incredible spirit of Japanese aesthetics awaits you, in which various samurai and ninja will fight among themselves. In battles, you will use melee weapons, on which the style of combat depends. The bet is made on realism. The enemy can be killed with one blow, if you manage to get into a weak spot. In this case, you can use parry and blocks. We are promised dynamic battles, while the outcome of the battle can end after one successful combo attack. But this does not mean that the fight will last until the first blow. Again, you can parry or block. The new moves available will depend on the weapon, not the character. That is, you can choose any hero, customize it, but this does not affect the fighting style in any way. HARVESTELLA. HARVESTELLA is a new life simulation game with a role-playing system where players can enjoy farming and adventure, including battles with various monsters. In the story, the hero wakes up during quietus, a deadly calamity that appears during the change of seasons. Having met a girl from the future named Arya, he decides to help her in investigating the mystery of this strange phenomenon. You have to enjoy farming and adventures, including battles with various monsters. You can also take on various tasks from NPCs and get close to them, fight various monsters and select a combat profession to suit your playstyle.
Share in your new friend's sorrow. Joy.
The Dark Pictures anthology The Devil in Me.
Where the hell are we?
We are offered to go to the World's Fair Hotel. The game will tell about a maniac engineer who considers his torture works of art. The villain likes to watch people die. You will definitely have to take their place. The plot of the horror film tells about a group of documentary filmmakers making a film about the serial killer Henry Holmes.
Jamie, over here.
The film crew receives a mysterious invitation and goes to a replica of the hotel in which the maniac was operating. By the way, the plot is based on the story of Henry Holmes, the first official American serial killer. You can go for a deadly sensation on November 18, 2022.
We have to choose. Now!
Get the fuck out any way you can.
God of War Ragnarök.
Sometimes it's the only way to protect the ones we love.
Kratos and Atreus, the father-son duo that inspired the 2018 reboot, will of course return in the sequel. They will again be assisted by Mimir, a talking head who is also the smartest man in the world, as well as the brothers Huldra, Brock and Sindri. Freya will become a villain in Ragnarök due to Kratos killing her son Baldur in the first game.
Death can have me.
Ragnarök will also see the addition of several new characters, many of which we heard about in the original game. Thor and Odin will be Kratos' main antagonists in the upcoming sequel, and are apparently also mad at Kratos for killing their relative, Baldur, as well as Thor's idiotic sons, Magni and Modi. As for the graphics and gameplay, there are no special changes, so all hope is for the plot.
Kills without cause.
WRC Generations. WRC Generations is an upcoming racing video game developed by Kiloton and published by Naken. 49 teams of the new season, 2,022,750 kilometers of unique special stages in 22 countries, 165 time limited special stages, 37 legendary cars and bonuses await you in the game. Changes also affected the gameplay of the game. New mechanics reflect the features of cars with hybrid engines. To win, you will have to fine-tune the battery performance by changing the engine settings on the special stages. Also, for those who love competition, there is a new league mode. In it you can compete online against players close to you in level. Surpass rivals and move forward in the Legends category.
Raise peak performances.
The Entropy Centre.
Is anyone there? What is this?
Entropy test in progress. Please stand well clear of testing area.
Oh, that doesn't sound good.
The Entropy Centre is a sci-fi puzzle adventure where players can move objects through time over seemingly impossible obstacles. This can be done with the help of special weapons.
Huh. What is this?
Hello! Very nice to meet you.
Why did you jump out at me like that?
My name is Astra. I am a puzzle exercise assistant, or P for short.
Wait, what?
As for the plot, the story will tell about how humanity almost died out and you are the only one among the survivors who must carry out the last mission to revive the human race. To do this, you need to get to the securely protected core of the Entropy Centre, a space station in Earth's orbit. Dying Light 2 Stay Human Bloody Ties.
I'm gonna tell you a story about a species that survived millennia. Homo neanderthalensis.
Dying Light 2 Stay Human. Bloody Ties is an add-on for Dying Light 2 Stay Human, a fast-paced first-person shooter set in the world of the zombie apocalypse, where you play as Aiden again and take part in a tournament where people are ready to do anything for status.
And my advice for you? Stay alive.
The add-on will offer you to go on a new adventure, where you can visit the Carnage Hall, full of various tests and tasks, weapons and surprises. Here the hero has to fight against numerous enemies.
Every day you fight for survival, but today you fight for glory. Anyone can be a warrior. What makes you different is the spirit of a champion.
VALKYRIE ELYSIUM. VALKYRIE ELYSIUM is a third-person action-adventure game set in a fantasy setting. The game takes place in the distant past, when the devastating Ragnarök threatens all that exists. The brave warrior Valkyrie is taken to save the world from imminent death. As you progress, you will find an epic story, picturesque locations, as well as a new dynamic combat system that combines classic special attacks for the series and a unique combo system. In the game, picturesque locations, various bosses, a variety of weapons and so on await you. By the way, the game is already available for the PlayStation console.
Divine assault!
Do not open. Do Not Open is a horror adventure game developed by Sony Interactive Entertainment Spain and Quasar Dynamics and exclusive to the PlayStation VR platform. According to the plot, you find yourself trapped in a creepy house, where a baby demon darts around, and a vague witch is constantly trying to get to you with apparently unfriendly goals. So you have to constantly hide, walk quieter than a mouse and play in a diaper. A feature of the game are procedurally generated locations. The house changes layout every time, which creates additional difficulties, in addition to the many mysteries that the hero needs to solve in order to get out of the trap. According to the developers, the game is capable of creating 2,193,360 different combinations of puzzles.
That seems my house lot. At the same time, it's not.
Goat Simulator 3. On November 17th, we are waiting for a game about a crazy goat. Goat Simulator 3 is the sequel to the Crazy Goat Simulator in third person. Like the previous parts, the first, second by the way does not exist, you have to play for a crazy goat. You will find a lot of humor and crazy fun. You will find yourself in an open world filled with events, NPCs, collectibles, secrets and various minigames. In the role of a goat, you have to rush around the city and arrange wild trash wherever possible. Floodland. Floodland is a strategy and survival game in a post-apocalyptic world developed by Vile Monarch for the PC platform. According to the plot, people polluted the planet so much that a climate catastrophe happened and most of the land went underwater. You take on the role of surviving nomads and with the help of this small group you need to restore civilization. The game will have three main components. Well, firstly, it is the construction of the city. Secondly, it is the formation of laws, and thirdly, it is the exploration of the world. Also in the game there is replay value, so that with each passage you will find new maps, new events and new stories. Pentiment. Pentiment is a narrative adventure game with a distinctive graphical style, as if everything takes place on the pages of a book from the medieval era. Actually, at this time, key game events take place, namely in Germany of the 16th century, around a talented artist. After he was drawn into years of murder in the Abbey of Kurzau, the hero decides to figure out the killers with his own hands. Relying solely on his mind and willpower, the artist does everything possible to bring the criminals to clean water, but each decision leads to far-reaching consequences and inevitably brings him closer to the heart of the conspiracy. Tactics Ogre Reborn. For lovers of nostalgia, the Tactics Ogre Reborn remaster is coming out on November 11th. Tactics Ogre Reborn is a remastered remake of the original Tactics Ogre, released in the 90s on the Super Famicom, Sega Saturn and PlayStation. The remake was released in 2010 on the PSP. The game received improved sound and graphics, a redesigned combat system, more advanced artificial intelligence of enemies, as well as updated controls and gameplay. Among the pleasant innovations are automatic saves and the ability to change the speed of the battle. The action of the game will unfold in the state of VALKYRIE, in which, after a 50-year lull, a conflict erupted. The main character will have to decide the fate of the kingdom. The game has a non-linear plot, the development of which depends on the decisions made. There are several endings and a squad leveling system. Exome. On November 11th, the cooperative survival shooter, Exome, will be released in early access. Here you alone or in the company of friends up to 4 people have to fight for survival in the deep forest. An open world filled with monsters with the intelligence of a horde awaits you. Various weapons and equipment, character customization, and all this is done on the Unreal Engine 5. Sonic Frontiers. Sonic Frontiers is the sequel to the classic third-person action-adventure game set in the universe of Sonic the Hedgehog. Dr. Eggman once again seeks to establish his power over the entire world. As I understand it, an open world is waiting for you, divided into various stages, in which order to pass the levels is up to you. The main task is to find the Chaos Emeralds. As soon as you collect all the emeralds and pass all the levels, a new portal opens to another world where you will do the same, but in a different location and with different opponents.
You cannot run forever.
Call of Duty Warzone 2. Activision has officially announced that Call of Duty Warzone 2 will be released on November 16. It will bring the environment, gameplay, and technology of Modern Warfare 2 to the large-scale battlefield. Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2 will mark a turning point for the Call of Duty franchise, with a focus on cross-progression and shared technology across its various iterations. Modern Warfare 2 was released on October 28, just a few weeks before Warzone 2.0. Both games will use the same new version of the IW engine. Call of Duty Warzone 2 will serve as a multiplayer expansion for Modern Warfare 2, which takes place in the fictional West Asian region of Al-Mazrah. Battle Royale has received a reworked endgame mechanic, where instead of a narrowing circle, several safety zones will be used, which will merge into one by the end of the match. Also being introduced is a new sandbox called DMZ and an updated Gulag, where dead players can fight for a chance to return to the match in 2v2 skirmishes. And by the way, the game will be completely free, which is very good.
Do not let them cross the border.
Take him out!
And if you really liked our video, then subscribe, press the finger up and enjoy. And most importantly, play only good games. Thanks to all. Good luck.